controllers. Does anyone else have the same problem as me with the Switch and GameCube controller, where the battery is just completely depleted after like 2 days of not using it? The modern game industry is kind of bleak at the moment with all those microtransactions, AI, Ubisoft making the same game with a different look over and over again. But there's one thing that's actually gotten better, and that's third-party controllers. This is an 8BitDo 2C controller, and it's cost me like 20-25 euros. And it has basically almost all the functionality you want in a Switch controller. And it's also fun that it basically has all you want from a Switch controller, and even some unique features like these special buttons over here, or the fact that it's like, it's cheap. That's all you need, and it feels like a genuine first-party controller. It's comfortable. It's even multifunctionality. You can even use this on a computer if you wanted to. And if you really wanted, there are more versions. There's also one for PC that has the right buttons. You know, I'm a big 8BitDo fan. I should just stop talking. I'm probably gonna gush for like 10 hours. This one is 130 euros. What makes this one so special? Well, comfort, first of all. If there's something about this controller I love, it's just the comfort. Xbox controllers have this form factor that just falls into your hands, and it's extremely comfortable. Every button is easy to press. The RT buttons, the trigger buttons are just satisfying to press. It's just really a really good controller with great functionality. And you can also use it for PC and stuff. But this time with the added benefit of having rubber grips. These are extremely comfortable. Like if you have sweaty hands, you've probably already noticed with one of your controllers that, you know, it gets quite slippery if you don't have a finish. Even every single Xbox controller has a finish or even rubber grips here or even here. And if you want to customize your own, you can add rubber grips. So what makes this controller extra special is the added functionality of back buttons that you can magnetically attach to the controller to have 4 extra buttons. You can adjust the RT and LT controllers to make it either a short press or long press, or if you really want it, if you're a special boy, a medium press. You have multiple profiles. You can cycle through like 3 of them and even just keep it turned off. So it's just a normal Xbox controller. You can swap the control sticks. Like this is a different control stick than this one. And I can swap it around. And swap it right back. And you can even change the D-pad. It's all magnetically. It all works great, no complaints. So why do I hate this controller? This controller, for the price you pay, is wholly unreliable. To address the audience for a bit, this is the core version, and the core version is basically a cheaper version. It's 130 bucks, and this is all you get. You don't get the back buttons, you get one D-pad, you get the one sort of control stick, and you get the key to change the control stick so it gets a bit heavier. I don't know how to explain it well. You just have to feel it, which is another great feature I forgot to mention. Great that I work without a script, by the way. But this one is 130 bucks, and you already notice I have a different control stick on here. Well, if we want to talk about expensive, 180 bucks. Like, that's a lot. Here is my original Elite 2 controller. Why do I have 2? Well, that's a great question, first of all. I am so proud of you for asking that. It's complicated. This one's broken. And why is it broken? Did I throw it across the room? Did I perform black magic on it? No. I played a game where I needed to press the RB button a lot. Wow. Alright, let me explain my history with this controller. I got this controller specifically so I can, first of all, use it on my PC. And second of all, I could use it on my Xbox One S at the time. And this controller is still freaking amazing. I love how it looks, even though this one is clearly used. It's not that pretty anymore. Look at it! Look at it! Oh! And I immediately started noticing problems. The first problem is Bluetooth connectivity. Why? What exactly happens is, controllers have a pulling rate. And this controller has a pulling rate around 250 Hertz, if I remember correctly, which is around the maximum the Xbox can handle. But mine kept losing its connection. Like, the wheel, the weapon wheel in most games nowadays? I always tested it with GTA. So I held the button, which was LB, I believe, and I went around, and if it skipped a weapon, that meant it was skipping inputs. As a result, playing games started being a hassle, because I didn't get smooth controls, buttons got eaten up, and if you're playing something like a hard difficult game or a super boss, one misinput can lead to death. The other problem I had is that the A button didn't work. It barely functioned. Some button presses just got eaten up. I kept pressing the button and nothing happened. 1 out of 5 buttons didn't register. Eventually this problem got resolved. Why? Probably because I play Kingdom Hearts and the A button is like the button you press like 99% of the time you play that game. So it started working. It's probably something with the internals and the membrane. Probably got resolved by me abusing the heck out of this button. So with the Bluetooth connectivity problems, I contacted Microsoft. Hey, Microsoft, I got this expensive controller from you. Can you please fix this? They were like, all right, ship it to us and we'll fix it. So I got my controller back. You have 2 guesses if they fixed it or not. If your guess is no, you're right. They did not fix it. It had the exact same issue. I looked it up on the internet. I started trying it out, like testing it on my computer. I tested it on my mobile phone by playing some Minecraft. Same exact problem. So I stopped using it for the computer. Or, well, that's mostly right. I stopped using it in Bluetooth connectivity mode. There's this dongle you could get for your Xbox controllers. Basically a USB stick, you put it in your computer and you can connect any Xbox One or Xbox Series X controllers. It worked flawlessly and then it died because the USB stick just... It's a Microsoft product. So, I still really like this controller. This one's basically useless. So, I started using it more and I brought this controller to a friend. We started playing a shoot 'em up game or whatever, and I needed to abuse the RB button. The RB button doesn't work anymore! No, it's dead. It's completely dead. Even listen to the difference. I even tried to fix it. It's completely dead. I cannot use this controller anymore. The only way I can get my RB functionality back is I map it to one of the back buttons. Which means I lose one of the back buttons and I basically use muscle memory. Because RB is an essential button. So this controller got retired. I put it back in its case. And I stopped using it. I started using normal Xbox controllers. I started using the Xbox Series controllers, what I really liked. But there was still this desire to play with a Elite controller. So I bought this one. You have one guess what the problem is with this one. The RB button barely functions anymore. Like, it's not dead, it still works. But it's so unreliable, I can't use it. And I didn't even abuse it that much this time. That's another controller that I basically cannot use. And it was out of warranty. I am stuck with another controller. So I lied. I did not buy 2. I bought 3. Here is another one. And you're probably asking, what's the problem with this one? Yeah, well, it still works, but like I used it for like a few months and then I was like, no, I'm not gonna use it anymore. I was too scared for it to break, and it's just not worth it. I love this look, even if I'm kind of conflicted with the fact that the back is still white. This controller is beautiful. This red is fantastic. I love this controller. Everyone knows this game called Genshin Impact. And everyone knows Genshin Impact has a sprint button. How sprint works in Genshin Impact, you get a burst, like a not a sprint, but you basically jump forward and then you start sprinting. It's basically a dodge and a sprint in one. So most of the time when you're in a boss, you want to utilize this dodge functionality. And this dodge functionality uses a lot of stamina. So why did it dodge twice when I just pressed it once? Well, there is this fun thing none of the other controllers have. Like, the first Elite controller doesn't have this. The Xbox One, Xbox Series controllers doesn't have this. Only this controller. Like, this is like, I think it's made out of metal, this button. And for some reason, in between the pressing the button and letting go of the button, there's a big, gap between when you press it and when it actuates. And for some reason, I don't know how, I don't know why, I don't know how to precisely replicate it, it activates the button twice. Here I am once again with a controller I do not want to use. So why, if I want to use it for a simple RPG or like play Kingdom Hearts or whatever, why do I play worse? It doesn't matter if this controller is extremely comfortable, I'm just not gonna use it. Top that with the fact that the RB button is probably gonna fail, eventually. Like, I have 2 out of 3 controllers have a failed RB button. Why should I bother? Why should I bother, and why should you bother? Please do not buy one of these controllers. Look at this controller. Look at the grease. This controller experienced love. It's probably hard to find, but if you really need one of these controllers, please get this one. It's just, you lose some functionality, but if you really care about those back buttons, get this one. Or just, get a SCUF controller. I've never had any experience with SCUF controllers. But if you really need that functionality, just get a SCUF controller. Do not get the Elite controller. There are so many other options. One option you should not get is the DualSense Edge controller. This controller is great. It's comfortable. It has rubber grips right here. It has 2 back buttons. You can switch the right triggers. You have extra functionality right here. It has one functionality I like, which Sony kind of screwed up because they can't really sell them properly, is like you can switch out the controller sticks, because we live in a world where stick drift is one of the worst things you can have in your controller. And for some reason they made this part glossy. Stop doing that, please! The reason why you shouldn't get this controller, even though I praised it, it's like 200 bucks. I paid 220 euros for this thing, and it's not worth it. The battery life sucks. It gets like 2 hours, no, not 2 hours, a few hours. It gets a few hours and then the battery is depleted. So I mostly use this wired. Now, if you want to use this thing wired, it's great because you get this thing. You can put your cable inside. Oh, let me get it. Put it inside. Connect it to your controller and lock it, and it's basically stuck. Oh, I shouldn't have done that. So that's great if you want to use it wired. But a lot of you probably don't want to use it wired because you're not really a Elite controller user. More you want comfort, you want functionality, great battery life, and you want to use it wireless with a great connection. If that is the case, oh boy, do I have another controller for you. This is the Gamesir G7 Pro, and this is one of my favorite controllers. It has grips, it has back buttons you can program, it has multi-functionality, like it works for Xbox, only wired, so this isn't really an option for Xbox players who want to play wireless, but if you don't care, this is a great controller. It has extra buttons, great, like one of the best control sticks on the market, like that's genuinely what I think. Great customization options, like this looks beautiful. Just, is there a transparent version? And I'd like to get more in depth with this controller, but it cost me like 99 euros. Compared to the other controllers, this is a steal. But if you really want to talk about a steal, if you want to compare it, please get yourself an 8-bit Do controller. This controller, it has great control sticks, like anti-drift control sticks. It has great functionality like extra buttons right here and in the back. What's great is if you want to have a short press instead of a long press, it actually feels great, not like you slam it against the wall. It actually feels like a press. Listen. And if there's a controller I recommend to anyone, it's this one. There are Xbox versions. There's one that works on the Xbox wirelessly, which is the Rare Edition controller. But still, if you're mainly a PC player, if you're a Switch player, like this one works on the Switch. It's even made for the Switch. There are also versions specifically made for PC, but you should just guess the Switch version because it basically has the same functionality and it also works on the Switch. The other one doesn't. And it's like 70 bucks. But this is like one of my favorite controllers. And if you want something cheaper, go with one of these. You do not get the back buttons. You do get these buttons over here. There's a Switch version which have different right triggers. But for this price, this controller is a steal. And all of them have like 1000 hertz pulling rate. So they're extremely responsive. I never really have complaints when it comes to responsiveness and connectivity issues. There's like none. I cannot recommend 8-bit Do enough. So, in conclusion, it's up to you what you want to buy. But please consider this. The Elite controller will break on you. That's one guarantee I can give you. Thank you all for watching. Till next time, and maybe we'll talk about a controller I do like.